morning. Is it afternoon now? Maybe it's afternoon. My husband always takes a break at noontime when he works at home. He's supposed to work in Ottawa, but he has telecommuting a few days a week. So when he works at home, he goes to the lake during the lunch hour. So that's how come I get to go kayaking. But they're very short trips because he's going to take the car and go home. And I won't have a way to get him. I guess I could say, please come back in 2 hours, but then I would need a watch. And so I'm calling a new place. Boy, this is going fast. This water is pushing. It's pretty out there, isn't it? Most people that have live in cottages in the summer have gone home now because they usually close the cottages on Thanksgiving weekend, which is October 10th or around thereabouts. But we stay all year because we don't live in a cottage, we live in a house. This house has been badly flooded sometimes. See, the thick ice rises up on the water and it'll push into shore. Sometimes it can take a house right off of its foundation, or a cottage. That's in the spring. But I don't have to deal with that. These are interesting circle things they've used to keep their house, to protect their house from the ice. The moving ice or from the floodwaters. Isn't that interesting? Cement tubes. I guess that's sort of like sandbagging. See, this is triangular shaped grasses. Edges have edges. I think that must be a cottage there. It doesn't really look very lived in at the moment. It's hard work paddling out here today, but it's pretty. So today they're going to be working on the schoolhouse. They're going to build shelves in the shed. And the reason that's important to me is because my kiln, which I bought, is in that shed. Now it's about as heavy as anything in the whole wide world. And I can't move it, and I don't have any vehicle to move it. And I really didn't prepare. I should have prepared this whole thing so I would have had 3 of my boys come over and take it out of the shed and put it on a trailer and bring it home and take it off. I guess it's going to have to go in the woodshed. I think that's the best place because it needs one of those stove outlets to plug into, and I could put a hole in the side of the house, and I could, just a small hole, and I could slip that cord through, and then I could plug it in there, and it would be handy. Where'd my husband go? Oh, there he is. So then it would just be outside of the kitchen door. I think that's the most practical place to put it. But at the moment, there's wood there, lots of wood. So I think I'm going to have to get all that wood away. Now, if I had a dolly, you know they lift up pianos with a dolly. So the kiln would not be heavier than a piano. They could tip it up too. And I think there is a dolly over there. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'm sure this is fascinating to all of you who don't know me, who think I'm just some strange old woman. One person commented on it. It says, "You are," like not written out, but those letters. "You are fake. You are young." So I guess that meant that I was too young to be pretending to be old. I didn't bother to respond because, you know, teenagers, they can respond back forever. And who cares? So I just said, "You're as young as you feel." That's a good thing to know, isn't it? You're as young as you feel. This is pretty out here. Oh, I guess you don't need to look at me. You should be looking at where we're going. Comes the wave. Dum 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 dum. If you don't see this video, it'll be because the camera fell into the water. Hey, I've never been over here, you know. These are cute little cottages. Look at those. Isn't that a pretty place for a house? Now, if there was a house, they would never let the trees be right there, right? But because the trees are right there, I know that it must be a cottage. I guess they don't care if trees fall on them. Or they do care, but they need them there for pretty effects. Prettiness value. Shade. Whoa! Right over a rock. That's a cute little cottage too, isn't it? Oh, I guess these are breakwaters they built. Look at that. They always get the fast-moving water, I guess, when it winds. Oh, okay. I don't see my husband's head anywhere. Oh, there it is, over by the bridge. You see the bridge? You're not going to see it. I can barely see it. And this camera just does not show you everything in the whole world. You see the clouds? Now, what do you think they look like? That is in there. I'll expect detailed responses in the comments. What does that cloud look like to you? Is that a Canadian flag? It certainly doesn't look like a Canadian flag, does it? This blue in the corner, is that an American flag? It doesn't look like an American flag so much either. It kind of looks like a little British, too. Maybe it's the Ontario flag. I'm not too familiar with the Ontario flag. Oh, have we run out of time? Yep. Okay, that was your kayak trip for this time.